doors. We use them every day. Unless you don't, in which case, go outside. Doors come in all different shapes and sizes, but they all serve one purpose: to act as entrances and exits. But what makes one door better than another? I mean, for starters, how easily can you open and close it? How accessible or practical is this type of door? Is this type of door dangerous? How annoying is the door? How often does an individual face challenges when interacting with said door type? So today, taking all of these questions into account, we're going to be ranking doors. At the very bottom of this list, at spot number 20, is the dog door, or cat door, whichever pet you prefer. You know, the flaps that are like built into doors that go outside, whether that be the back or front yard, that pets, like dogs and cats, can easily walk in and out of. Those are the worst type of door. Regardless of the convenience, or ease of access, or danger level of any of the doors past this point, at least you can fit through all of them. This one, you can't even go through it. So it doesn't, like, the whole point of it, to go through it, doesn't count because you can't go through it, so it's useless. It's a great door for pets. But pets don't make tier lists, so it lands itself in F tier. After that, at spot 19, we have windows. Before you say these aren't doors, shut up. It's funnier this way, okay? Let me just have this one. In terms of actually serving as an entrance, the ideal window would be one on the ground floor of a building with no screen door behind it or screen at all. One you can just, you know, open, be that lifting it or pushing it open, and then just climbing through it with very little trouble. But that's not all windows. In fact, there's probably a lot more windows than not that you would just have a terrible time trying to get through. I mean, for starters, there's windows in skyscrapers that you can open that would, like that, don't go out that. That's not gonna end well for you. That's not how you access the ground floor. And like I already mentioned, a lot of windows have screens behind them, so that makes getting through them a lot more difficult than it should be. Some windows have bars, especially ones on higher up buildings. A lot of windows have like shrubbery in front of them, so that would just make it even more inconvenient. I get it, windows aren't doors, but if they were, they would be wildly inconvenient. So that's why they're in F tier. Spot number 18 gets us guillotine doors. And if you don't know what that is, don't worry, I had no clue until this video either. Basically, they're little contraptions mostly used for like farming and like pet care centers where they like can pull down on a lever and it'll lift the door up for whatever pet is, you know, like what I'm saying. Can you imagine how inconvenient that would be to get through? Right? Because you would have to pull the like string down and then try to slide under it while still holding it open with the string. And then when you let go to get your hand through, it's gonna close. It would literally become a guillotine then. Also, how would you get back in? I mean, they might have like levers on the outside you can pull. I don't know, I've never worked at a place with these before. Obviously, it's not meant for humans, so it's gonna be an F tier for a door tier list. Really, really impractical. But I do gotta say, it lives up to the name. At spot number 17, we have turnstile doors. This one also might need a bit of an explanation. You know how like in theme parks and like subway stations, they have those like 3-pronged things that you push after you like scan your ticket or pay money or whatever. Now imagine that, but a door. These are wildly inconvenient just as a door because you have to pay money to get through them most of the time. You know what they say, time is money, and money spent to open doors is a waste of time. Not only that, but they're like revolving doors, but they only go one way. It's a very specific type of door for a very specific use case. And that is not what the criteria for this video is, so it's in D tier. At spot number 16, we have vault doors. And I know that these kind of all come in different shapes and sizes, right? Some of them might be easier to open than others. Some of them might be easier to crack than others. But at the end of the day, they're all still vaults. If it's one that's like keycard protected or password protected, then you need the password to get in, and it's probably still a hassle because the point of a vault door is to keep whatever's inside safe, or you don't have the password or key, in which case good luck. I don't know. I don't really know anything about vaults. I'm not a vault expert, but surely it's not gonna be an easy thing to open. At spot 15, we have the front door, like to a house. Now think about this. These are very convenient to open. The only obstacle is that you need a key to get in. So, now if you don't have that, you're out of luck. It's literally the end of both extremes, because on the one, you have a super easy to open door if you have the key. If you don't have the key, it is a door you really can't open. It's a door you have to kick. It's quite literally two opposite worlds. So I don't really know where to put it. Moving into C tier, we have the airplane door at spot 14. Numbers are hard. The risk of opening these is low as long as you're not flying. As for actually opening the door though, it's not super complicated, but it's definitely not easy. You have to like push down on a lever and stuff, and the door seems really freaking heavy, so it's just not like a fun door to open. I guess I don't really ever have fun opening doors, but you know what I mean. It's not particularly dangerous, but it's not particularly easy either. And so that's why it ends up being last place in C tier, because it's kind of just the worst of the middle of the road. Following that, we have attic stairs, which is a door, because I've said so. I guess it's technically like a trap door. That's what like the technical classification would be, I guess. These are really weird. To open them, you need to pull down on a string and then unfold a ladder, and it just seems like I don't want to do all that just to get into the attic. Not only that, but you can't really close it while you're up in the attic. It's a like door that stays open until you leave the area again. So that's also kind of weird and pointless. It's nice and condensed, so that's like a plus. I don't know, this is just another weird one. What am I'm ranking doors right now. Can someone like, how did I get here? What decisions in my life led me to this moment? I needed to put a trap door somewhere on this list, and this was the best example of one I could think of, so it's what you get, and this is where I've put it. Spot number 12 gets us the fog door, which is not a real door. The fog door is a mechanic in the Dark Souls games and also a bunch of games under the same company. But basically how it works is there's a doorway, but instead of a door being there, it's just like mist or fog or like golden dust pouring out of it. When you step through this door, you're greeted by a boss that you have to either die to or defeat before you're allowed to leave. So you can imagine how that goes. Unlike the turnstile door, if you go through this, there is a chance you'll go back through it, but you might have to spend hours and hours fighting a boss for that to happen. Either that, or you die and lose everything you've worked for up until that point, really. So it's kind of a lose-lose. Granted, it is in a video game, but video games are cool. It's not as dangerous as attic stairs, because you could fall down the attic stairs and hurt yourself. You're not going to do that with a Dark Souls fog door. But the inconvenience of it puts it pretty low on the list, I feel like. So the fact that it's a door that could take like upwards of multiple hours just to open sometimes, or go back the other way through, I feel like that has to put it pretty low on the list, so that's why it's at spot number 12. At spot 11, we have elevator doors. These are actually really convenient. You just push a button, wait a little bit, and then once you're in, push a button again. Sounds easy, right? But then you have to factor in the fact that a lot of elevator buttons just won't work. Like you'll spam the close button, and then it won't close for 10 minutes, and then you spam the open button when you want to keep it open, and it just closes. There's also a little bit of a fear factor with the ones that like stop shutting automatically when you stick your hand in between the doors to keep them open, because, you know, you always feel like there's a chance that if you stick your hand in there, you might not get it back. Reasonably speaking, elevator doors themselves aren't that dangerous, but there's just a few little specific details about them that I think keep them from being higher on the list. Spot number 10, the halfway point, brings us bathroom stall doors, and that's not the that's the next one. Spot number 10 marks the halfway point on this list and is home to the screen door. I hate these things, they suck. All things considered, they don't really deserve to go any lower on the list, but I still really hate them. Oftentimes, at least with every screen door I've interacted with, they always get like jammed whenever you're trying to open them. And then also, they might just come straight off the railing that they're on for some reason. There's not really a danger factor involved with these, and they are just sliding doors for the most part. But I still hate them. They're still just so wildly unsatisfying. You know, you're not really supposed to grade a door on whether or not it's satisfying to open, but these are just so particularly unsatisfying that I feel like it has to count for something. They're ugly doors, they're ugly to open, and they belong at spot number 10 in C tier. At spot number 9, we have the last of C tier, don't worry, we're almost done, and that is bathroom stall doors. You might be asking yourself why these are higher than screen doors. To that I say, I don't know, it's kind of a toss-up between the two. The problems these have, I feel like, aren't as frequent as screen doors, but are worse. So I think it just puts it slightly above. Again, they're not really dangerous, you just open and close them. It's just that most of the time, the locks barely work, if they do at all. Also, they're like way too high up off the ground at some points. So the thing is, I know stall doors are like different from place to place. So in some places, a bathroom stall door might just be like an actual physical door. But in most of the places I've been, this is how they're designed, and it's terrible. It's a terrible experience for everyone involved. Inconvenient, kind of dysfunctional, and just kind of not even intuitively designed. They almost always open inwards too when you're already in a cramped bathroom stall. So I don't know that these should go any higher. I just realized you can't really like close them from this side, so that might deduct points, I don't know. Spot number 8 gets us a garage door. Most garage doors nowadays are automatic, which means that opening and closing them is as simple as pushing a button. The inconvenient factor is that once you open the garage door, you can't close it once you leave unless you have a remote control to close it with. And sometimes those don't even work. I will admit I have had a lot less times where a garage door button wouldn't work as opposed to an elevator door button per se. So that is why it's higher and the last of B tier and not in C tier. But still, there's a chance that it might not work, and it also is just slightly more inconvenient than opening a regular door. Oh, hello. The thing with car doors is not necessarily that they're hard to close or dangerous or anything like that. It's just that if you don't shut them hard enough, they just don't close. So to guarantee that you can close them every single time, you kind of need to slam them shut, and that gets a little annoying. Don't get me wrong, it could obviously be a lot worse, but it could also be a tad better. At spot 6, we have the cousin of turnstile doors, and those are revolving doors. I would have put these higher, but some of them move automatically, and so it gets kind of scary to step into one for a few brief moments because you're worried that it's gonna just be faster than you. That might just be a me thing, but I don't know. It's a little spooky. I guess you don't really have to exert any effort to walk through it. You just kind of walk through it. But it's still, it just feels like a hassle to walk through. You know what I mean? You gotta time it right, you know? And that causes a lot of stress, so much stress. Oh my God, it's one of my top 10 most stressful experiences going through a revolving door. What am I talking about? Also, you can't really close them. I mean, you can, obviously, because some of them are just entrances to hotels and businesses, but you yourself can't really close them. There are some that you push. I've neglected to mention that until this point. Those are far less stressful, but you need to exert a little more effort to actually open the door. Or I guess not even open, just turn it. A little bit of an odd one. I didn't really know where else to put it, but it's not bad, so it goes in B tier. All right, you got me. Here it is, the classic door. What's there to say that hasn't been said already? It's such a talented player. It does so much right and so little wrong. You just turn the knob and open it. Or turn the handle and open it. Or just, it's a door, dude. Like, who doesn't know what a door is? I don't really have anything to say. It's just, you know, it's a door. In any other tier list, I would have put this in like C tier to kind of mark the like midpoint, but there's so little above this that's like easier to get through than this that it doesn't really make sense to put it in C tier comparatively. It's such a staple of society and it just plays its part so well, so I think it's very fitting to have it in A tier. Immediately following, and I mean immediately following the classic door, are swing doors. These can be like saloon doors if you want to be really whimsical, or they can just be the doors to a 7-Eleven or something of that nature. All you gotta do is push and pull. And so they're literally like, not even a full step, like half a step better than normal doors, because the only step you're removing is turning the handle. Finally, at the top of A tier, we have sliding doors. These are just again, slightly better than swing doors. Instead of having to push or pull them open, you just slide them open. It's one motion. There's never any confusion about whether or not a door is a push or pull door. And it's slightly less effort, and it takes up less space. What's there to say? The distance between like a dog door and a window is like a good chunk. And then the distance between a vault door and a front door is like a pretty hefty chunk. And then the difference between a classic and a sliding door is like that. A tier has differences between all the doors, but not a lot. Our penultimate spot goes to automatic doors. Right off the bat, I just want to say, these are so fun to interact with. You literally are Jedi. You use the Force, you can open the door. Come on, who doesn't like doing that? So cool. These are a blast to mess with. We're not gonna pretend that they aren't. Not only that, but to open and close them, you don't have to do it's in the name. It's automatic. You just walk at it and then walk away. The only real nitpick that I have with the core purpose of the door is that sometimes you have to walk like pretty close for it to actually open automatically. But at that point, you would be close enough to just open it as if it were a normal door, in which case there's not really, that's not a loss. That's just like the same as a normal door. Because these are electric, they might have like more issues functioning than a lot of other doors, but I haven't really run into an automatic door that was having like a significant problem. So I'm sure that's just propaganda against automatic doors. These are just so great. They're amazing. They're so fun. They have to be number one. But they're not. There's one door that beats them out. And it's the Minecraft door. You know what you have to do to open a Minecraft door? My mouse doesn't go far enough. That. It doesn't get easier than that. It quite like even an automatic door, you have to walk forward. You don't have to just move your finger. Is it a stupid entry to put it the top of a door tier list? Yeah, but like, you weren't gonna take me ranking doors seriously, were you? If we were only including real life doors, obviously automatic would win this. But it's my list and I'm gonna put Minecraft door on it because Minecraft door. And that's it. That's the door tier list. Hope you enjoyed. I hope you learned a thing or two, even though you probably didn't. And I'll see you later. I don't know.